A jar contains between 40 and 50 marbles. If the marbles are taken out of the jar 3 at a time, 2 marbles will be left in the jar. If the marbles are taken out of the jar 5 at a time, 4 marbles will be left in the jar. How many marbles are in the jar? A. 41, B. 43, C. 44, and D. 47. There is a 5-second countdown timer following it. However, if you need more time, you can just pause the video and try the problem on your own. Let's have a look at the first condition highlighted in blue. If the marbles are taken out of the jar 3 at a time, 2 marbles will be left in the jar. There are 2 ways of solving these type of problems. The first method is a more time-consuming one, in which we list 3 marbles taken out of the jar each time. But the method that we are going to use now is a more simplified one. We are going to use the answer choices provided in the question. Let's assume that the total number of marbles in the jar are 41. We divide 41 by 3, and thus we get 13.667. This means that we can take out 3 marbles from the jar 13 times. And when we multiply 13 by 3, we get 39, which means when we take out 3 marbles 13 times from the jar, we have taken out 39 marbles from the jar. And since we have assumed that we have 41 marbles in the jar and 39 we have taken out, so 2 must be remaining in the jar. We are going to repeat the same process with 43. And in this process, 42 marbles are taken out of the jar, and we assumed 43 to be the total. This means that 1 marble is remaining in the jar, which does not meet our first condition, and thus we are going to remove the 43 from our answer choices. Similarly, moving on to 44 marbles, and we get the marbles taken out of the jar as 42. 44 minus 42 is 2, which again meets the first condition. And we then move on to our final answer choice, 47, and we also get 45 marbles being removed from the jar, which means 2 marbles are still in the jar, and thus 41, 44, 47 meet our first condition. Now we'll move on to our second condition. Let's have a look at the second condition. If the marbles are taken out of the jar 5 at a time, 4 marbles will be left in the jar. Now again we have 2 ways of solving it, as I specified earlier. However, we are going to use a more simplified approach because we don't want to waste much time on it. Now we have 3 answer choices left, 41, 44 and 47. Now again we will begin our assumption that 41 is our total. And when we divide 41 by 5, we get 8.2. This means that we can take out 5 marbles from the jar 8 times. When we multiply 8 by 5, we get 40. This means 40 marbles can be removed from the jar. However, only 1 marble is remaining in the jar, which does not meet our condition, and thus we cancel it out. We are going to repeat the same process with 44, and we get 40 marbles out of the jar. Assuming 44 as our total, 44 minus 40 is 4 marbles, and thus this meets our second condition. Finally, trying out a last possible answer choice, that is 47. And we get 45 marbles that can be potentially removed from the jar. 47, which is the total, minus 45 that can be removed from the jar, we get 2 marbles remaining in the jar, which does not meet our second condition, and thus 47 can also be cancelled out. Thus, the answer to this question is 44, which is C. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. If you have any more queries, you can just email me at itsallaboutlogics01@gmail.com.